doing, friends? How we doing? Good, I hope. Glad to see that Chipper guy finally uploaded the other day. Sorry to hear about all of the troubles with Lacey, John, and family, from my family, and from all of the people on this channel. We're all thinking of you, and we hope things get better. We know things are going to get better. There's way too many people praying and thinking about this situation. So stay safe, Chip Logs, okay? Now, story time. I've been saving this one back for a little bit, because it's a good one. I was still pulling rigging. I was about 28 or so, you know, maybe a little younger. But anyways, I was in my prime, and we went to work for this guy. He was working. If it was up to him, we'd work daylight to dark 7 days a week, but it's just not feasible, not possible. Anyway, so we were working 610s on the rigging. And the guy that was standing hook. Now, there's a lot of things that I don't show on YouTube about Stacy. Stacy can be a hard person to work for. He'd be a good person to work for. But he'll let you know if you screw up, that's for sure. Anyways, this guy that was standing hook, he was an asshole. I mean, number one. He was a good hook tender, and I never had any problems with him, but I really, really, truly believe that he enjoyed firing people. Anyways, like I say, I was pulling rigging. Adam was on the chokers for me. We had another guy on chokers, and we went from our side over to the other side because we had logged all the units that our yarder was going to get in half the time that he thought we were going to get them. And the other crew, they were just... Anyway, so we bumped them off of their little swing yarder and went over to finish up their units. So we moved the yarder down, we get out on this point, and about half of it's been feller bunched. So, I mean, we're going to put the wood to it. And then the other half, and it's nice timber, really nice timber. The bad thing about it, though, is where the back side of the road, where our guy lines and everything were going to be, was an alder patch. And alder trees are the absolute worst for guy lines. You do not hang on an alder. And, I mean, it had a sporadic fir here and there, and the old growth stumps that were in there were too far gone to try to use them. We probably should have buried Dead Man, but we didn't have the capabilities to. So anyways, it's just a road down this ridge, and it's got one little, like a turn, not even a turnout. Anyway, so the hook tender goes down there, and he finds where we can set and get 4 good guy lines, and so we can do this little piece. We were gonna need 5, but we were hoping by the time we swung around and got to where we needed that 5th guy line, we could either have the ability to bury a dead man or go to a live man. Anyway, so he was going to be gone for a couple of days. I don't remember the exact reason, but he took me down to the landing and showed me exactly what he had lined up. He had the guy lines ribboned out, notched. All we had to do was pull the yarder down there, pull the guy lines out. Haywire was already strong. No, the lift tree was rigged, but the haywire wasn't strong. Anyways, when I broke into the woods, I broke in right at the end of the old growth, run in for your job, run out for your life error, and the beginning of what we're doing now. You have to be respectful of other people and don't hurt their feelings and whatnot. So I've got, you know, a lot of old school in me still. Anyway, so the way I broke in was the hook tender's the boss of the site, and what he says goes. And I still believe that today if you're a good hook tender. Anyway, so he takes off. We finish up where we're at. Now the guy he would run shovel or run stroker, you know, whatever need. Good operator. Me and him didn't get along. For 2 reasons. He was a horrible smart ass. And so am I. So we were always clashing over that. The second reason being is he had never worked on the ground at all. He went right onto a piece of equipment, and he was good. I'll give him that. But then to come out in the woods and try to tell me what I should be doing on the ground, that ain't gonna fly. Anyway, so we get down there, and I walk the yarder down, I put it in its spot, we're getting ready to pull the guy lines out. Well, here comes this processor operator, and he's all ticked off, you know, he thinks he's the boss because the hook tender's gone. And he says, that yarder's not gonna sit there. And I said, it absolutely is too gonna sit there. He says, no, that's the only white spot on this whole road. He says, that's where my stroker's going. I need to set back there to do this and this. So I don't know what to tell you, but that's where the yarder's going. And so we get into a little bit of a pissing match over it. And I said, well, here, I'll tell you what. My boss told me that that's where the yarder was going, so that's where the yarder's going. And I don't care what you have to say about it. The hook tender's the boss. So he freaks out. And he starts mouthing off, and he says, well, I got more clout than any damn hook tender, and I'll run this, blah, 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 blah. Okay, absolutely. So the yarder engineer we had was a pretty good yarder engineer, and he had a set of brass cojones on him. So I told him, I said, them guy line stomps where we're going to put this yarder now absolutely will pull over. So we're going to hang these. I'm going to pull that hay wire, and when it gets down there and that rigging gets in the air, I looked at Adam, I told her, I said, I want you to put 6 chokers on that rigging, go out there and set 6 of them feller bunch piles and blow a go-ahead. And I looked at the yarder engineer and I said, you don't stop till it's laying on its top. And he absolutely would have. Absolutely would have. So everybody had to, well, the rigging crew all had chest packs, but like the shovel and the yarder and everything, they had like a CB mount, you know, so we had so I'm pulling haywire down and I'm losing my stuff, and I'm this, that, no good, SO, da 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 da, and do, and he's worthless, and this and that and the other, and my hook tender's the boss, and he told me that that's what we're gonna do, and la 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 la. So the yarder engineer, he kind of whispers and he says, you might want to be quiet, everybody can hear you. And I said, well, I hope they can hear me. I said, ain't wasting my breath for nothing. I got something to say, I'm going to say it. And, what the heck? Why is my... What? Anyways, you know, if I got something to say, I want to make sure people hear what I had to say. Because I firmly believe that if you're going to talk shit about somebody behind their back, you better have the balls to talk to their face too, because I don't like people being chicken shit. So I mean, I'm just going on and on and on and on and on about it. And it was a swing yarder, so it had an MSP carriage, a running haulback instead of a Skyline. So we spun the haulback, went in and put the carriage on, and when you first pick it up, the yarder engineer always blows for chokers. So he blows 2 and then 3, meaning put 3 chokers on. Well, I'm hot-footing it up the hill because I want to be on the rigging when this thing goes over. I blow for 6 of them. And he says, you absolutely sure that's what you want to do? And I said, are you absolutely sure you got the balls to do it? And I knew saying that was going to fire him up. So they put 6 chokers on, they shipped it out. Well, by this time, somebody had called the owner. So the owner was showing up. And I'm going ahead on the rigging. Well, the chaser told me that when the owner finally got the yarder engineer stopped, said that I had the track setting like this, in lead with the yarder, said to back in, you could walk under the tracks. And he was 6 foot tall. He said, I could walk under the tracks and not touch my head. He had it. We'd popped 2 and the 3rd one was coming. And we were yarding out this way and we popped the first 2 guy lines. So the yarder was swinging over into and getting ready to pull the 3rd one. So the owner gets him stopped and he's freaking out. What the heck? So I just take off and I come running. It's pretty flat, so it's not like I was running uphill, but I was running. And the boss, he's not a yeller or a screamer at all, and he's kind of freaking out, wanting to know what's going on. So I told him, and I told him exactly what was going on. So he goes over to talk to the stroker operator, and they stand there and talk for quite a while. And so I asked my choker setters, I said, listen, things come up to a head here today. I said, you 2 guys, I knew Adam would, but I wasn't sure about the other guy. I said, you 2 guys, you got the balls to walk off with me? And yarder engineer, the chaser, both the guys on the rig, and they said, if he fires you, we're all going. This is absolutely not your fault at all. So I had a pretty good crew. Anyway, so the boss called, he's like, come here, come here. So I go up there and he starts talking. He's trying to smooth things over. And he says, now listen, if Douchewagon over here, that's not his real name, but that's what I call him. You know, if he suggests or tells you to do something, it's only a suggestion. He's just asking, you know, could this work or could that work? Because he doesn't actually have any yarder logging experience. You know, he's just an operator. And I was like, oh, I don't think so. And he's like, yeah, it's just a suggestion. I said, absolutely not. When this guy looks me right in my beady little eyes and tells me I got more clout than any hook tender will ever have around this outfit, that's telling me that I should do what he says to do, or else I'm going to lose my job. So the boss tells us, he's like, just go home, forget it. You know, the day's shot, we'll get it Monday morning, we'll get it rigged up when the hook tender's here. So, and this is before we had cell phones and stuff, or it was right at the beginning of cell phones, and not everybody had one, just the important people. So I get home and the hook tender calls me and he's like, what in the hell happened down there? Because these guys had never seen me flip out like that. And, I mean, I can be a hard person to work for. I know I can. But if you work hard, you don't have to worry about it. So I told him exactly what happened. And I'm like, you know what kind of a person you are. And you know how often you fire people for not tying their shoes right. And I had strict instructions. You told me exactly, this is where it sets, guideline 1, 2, 3. Do not differ from this plan at all, because it will not work. And he's like, well, I appreciate you, you know, doing, and I go, listen, when you get down there and see where he had me rig that yarder up, you're going to say the exact same thing. You're going to be pissed. So we get there Monday morning, sure enough, this guy's pissed about it. Then we get everything fixed, and this stroker operator guy, he's still trying to play it off to everybody, even the guys that were there, like it was my fault. I think, alright, I'll get you someday. I'll get you. So here's the part where it kind of falls off the edge. A few years later, I end up going back to work for this company. And this guy's still there. Anyways, we're staying out of town on a job. And the operators, they'd work 15, 16, 20 hours a day. So a lot of times they stayed right on the job anyways. Oh, they're all in camp trailers and everything. And I was coming out of the back end one day, and this guy's out shovel logging, and I walked by his pickup. Well, he'd been bragging about this brand new pair of muck boots that he got. Oh, they were the best things in the world, you know. And I mean, every time that it even clouded over and act like it was going to rain, oh, he'd run right to his pickup, take his Romeos off, put them damn muck boots on. What are we doing? Turn. So, anyways, at this point, I was tending hook. Adam was with me, and the chaser that was there was there. It was we just moved on to this job, and it was the first big layout, and it was just us three. So, anyways, we made a layout and we'd come back, and so I peed in this guy's boot, and then I put it back. And it wasn't but just a few days later. Boy, he was awfully upset. He couldn't figure out how the inside of them boots got wet and all that. I never did tell him, and I hope he watches this channel because he knows who he is. So that's why your feet were wet that day, you dick. Mess with me, I'll burn you down. Get along, stay late, stay safe, come on.